I'm here in California, and today we're going to be asking Americans if they support mass deportations or not. We're starting the video off here in San Diego, and then we'll be moving down to the border where migrants are actually coming into the United States via the CBP One app, then moving to Los Angeles, where they are now a self-declared sanctuary city. Now that Donald Trump is president-elect, he said he's going to have the largest mass deportation effort in American history. Do you support mass deportations?
No, I don't support Donald Trump.
What should happen with all the illegal immigrants that came into the country these past few years?
I think you should follow the law, and they should fix the border in Congress like they did, and he didn't let it pass.
So if somebody comes over the wall illegally, should they be allowed to stay in the United States or should they be deported?
Well, it depends what if they're doing drugs or they're criminals, no. If they want asylum, they're running away from being killed or something, maybe.
So how do we know whether or not they're here to sell drugs, here seeking asylum?
Well, somebody has to ask them or check into it. Or.
And do you think we can trust somebody if they say they are seeking asylum, knowing that there are over 10 million?
So you're a Donald Trump person.
I'm just asking you the questions.
Yeah, I could tell. Bye.
Oh.
So it's funny at the moment how no matter what's going on with the country and the need, let me explain to y'all something. Right? We finna go into not only an AI area, but a robotics area. Right? So there is only going to be so many jobs available when it comes to the economy. So while you would like to be compassionate for people who come over here and cross the border to gain the benefit of what Americans have fought so hard for, it seems that what you don't understand is that you're absolutely are creating a harder time for yourself economically, because look at the number of jobs that, though there are jobs being created, look at the number of jobs that are about to be lost to robotics and AI. We don't need necessarily people to come in and necessarily clean houses anymore. First and foremost, those are black people jobs. Farming was black people jobs. Working in restaurants was black people jobs. Hospitality was black people jobs. Transportation was black people jobs, both black people and white people. The trucking industry has been devastated by illegal immigration. So while we have to get over this idea with regards to what the Democrat pushing out there, because they seem to target down, they put the emphasis on Donald Trump so much to blind you to what's actually going on with the future of the United States of America. When a lot of these policies, they push themselves. Do you not know that Joe Biden was in Iran? Like, he just got out of Iran January of 2025. Since 2022, he went into Iran and had a scuffle over there with some of the terrorist organizations that was in Iran that was killing Americans. Trump is not the only person who has had to go over there into Iran. He's the only one who is seriously trying to do something about dissolving the issue. From an economic standpoint, I'm glad he didn't go into the interior, because that would have been in like another Afghanistan or Iraq. Right? But the Democratic Party has put so much emphasis on the hate for Donald Trump, having people in this mental slavery to be having allegiance to party than they are to people. The only people who have a right to participate in this written system are the United States citizens. Anybody else is supposed to be subjected to immediate deportations by law. This is something that has been, even the Democratic Party, when they were in power, agreed to. The Democratic Party in this progressive movement that's going on is trying to destroy the country, and it's trying to push an agenda for not only foreign actors, but foreign countries. As you can see, the elite are not supporting the Democratic Party right now. Who are the Democratic Party in all these Democratic-run states attempting to put a wealth tax on? So how are they getting paid? Let's go back to the streets with nigga Shirley.
Okay. Do you guys support mass deportations?
No, definitely not.
Do you support mass deportations?
No, only criminals. Only criminal must be deported.
Do you
First of all, crossing the border illegally, as it is defined by law, as being someone who crossed the border, I forget the term right now, I'm sorry. So much of an analyzer. As a person who has unlawfully entered the country, it can become a felony. And at the moment, right now, it can become a 10-year prison sentence. So while they seem that it cannot be a crime, yes, your first time they acted as a civil crime, but your second time, that is a criminal offense.
support mass deportations?
No,
What should Donald Trump do now that he's
he
president-elect?
should go away. Period. Done.
Do you support mass deportations?
I don't know how I feel about that, honestly.
For people that came into the country illegally, do you support them being deported, or should they stay here in the United States?
Oh, they should probably go.
Do you guys support mass deportations?
No, not at all.
And what should happen to all the people that are coming across the border illegally?
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the policies that he's implementing or anything about a whole lot of politics. I just don't support how he's encouraging other people to treat immigrants in a way that it's not with any dignity.
Right now, there's millions of migrants that came in just these past 4 years alone. And so there is an issue, and there are criminals that are here. Would you support the deportation of criminals, migrants?
I mean, they have to go through a process,
Yeah.
but we also have a lot of criminals here in the United States.
Have you guys heard about the Laken Riley story?
No.
So she was a Georgia student.
So how many people who have dignity for criminals in the United States to a point to where they are not subjected to punishment for their offenses? Because if you have the same type of dignity for the citizen in the United States who were to commit a criminal offense, then these criminals would not be locked up. We wouldn't have a prison industrial complex within this country to where it operates like a business, where a statistic is drawn up about how many prison beds needs to be made, because in that way they'll have the capacity to put people in based on a statistic, based on something that is a statistic that is given to a child at birth, particularly black people, that 1 in every 6 black child will one day be incarcerated. So if that is being done from the birth of a U.S. citizen at childbirth, how can we have dignity for individuals who seemingly have broke the law, even though they acted as a civil offense first? Some of these people have crossed the border 2, 3, 4 times.
A nursing student at Georgia. She went for a run in the morning, and she was killed by an illegal immigrant who crossed the border illegally. And that same migrant was also living.
That happens, though. It's not just illegal immigrants. And I feel like that's the focus, with whatever it is that he's saying, but it's not just illegal immigrants here, kidnapping or murdering people.
Yeah, and we aren't saying that every migrant is a criminal.
I understand, but that's kind of the point that you're trying to get across right now, and trying to justify the whole mass deportation thing, because it's a lot deeper than all that.
But say that person never came to the country, she would still be alive. And so by protecting the borders, do you think
the way that criminals here that are U.S. citizens, born and raised, kill and murder people too, a lot of our mass shootings in America have been done by Americans.
Yeah.
That's, and we still
So we should still allow criminals across the border then?
That's not what I'm saying.
Kind of is.
It's not what I'm saying.
So say someone avoids the process of going through a port of entry and they
I'm
cross over
kind
the
of-
border illegally.
I don't want to talk about this anymore because we don't agree. We're not going to agree. Like, we're not going to come to like an understanding. So I think I'm just done with this interview.
I'm not.
You know, first of all, the reason why we have a prison industrial complex is to make people feel safe. We have to go back into realizing how deep this goes, right? Because not only does it go for black people, it goes for white people too. When you had sheriffs in towns, you know, back in the day, and people that were elected to be sheriffs were just somebody who who politicians felt can keep order of towns, right? So it's not to say that it's not to say that, you know, people who come to this country, because these things have happened because we've allowed people to feel more safer in this country than they feel in any other country. Well, if you're going to come to this country, if you're not going to live up to the standard that has been created within this country in terms of the social construct, because it is a social contract that we have to be all law-abiding citizens. If you can't do that, right, then you deserve to be in prison. If you cross the border and if you subjected to immediate deportation because you committed a crime, which it is a crime, right? It is illegal. Then you should be subjected to the punishment that is necessary in order for you not to do it again. Mass deportation is what it has done. The only reason why it is illustrated as mass deportation because Biden broke the law. What Biden did when the cartels was telling people at the southern border to cross the border, right? And this has been an issue since the 1990s, where the cartel members start actually making money from people illegally crossing the border. And then here goes Joe Biden, which said, okay, well, we gonna not allow these people to cross the border. We're going to process them. But at the same time, while we're doing people from the southern border, we're also going to allow people to come in on boats and planes through the port system. So to draw down on the number from of the illegal border crossings from the southern border, the people that come on boats and planes, we're going to give them immigration parole, which the 5th District said violated the law. Gave these people work visas. All at a time of during COVID-19 where we were opening back up the system from the COVID-19 shutdown, because he was trying to reinvigorate the economy at that point in time. Did something illegal, allowed people to cross the border illegally, allowed the people to come through the ports illegally, all this stuff that Trump has to fix. And people have hatred towards Trump.
Even giving my stance on this, I'm just asking them, going one level deeper into the questions, and people are just getting mad for whatever reason. Like, do you support a criminal that comes across the border illegally or not? Simple question. Now that Donald Trump is president-elect, he's saying he's going to have the largest mass deportation effort in American history. Do you support mass deportations?
If they came here illegally, yes.
It came out the other day that the murder of Laken Riley, he obviously came over the border illegally. He was being housed inside migrant shelters for completely free, then given a free flight to Georgia. Would you say one migrant crime is one too many?
Yeah, I think if it's illegal crossing, it's just a basic premise. We live in a time where people want to do away with rules and law and make exception for this, that, or the other. Wrong is still wrong. And unfortunately, we're getting away from that as a society. That's a real problem.
What do you do for work?
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher, and would you let the school keep all the doors unlocked and let anybody come in?
No, we lock those. We have security measures for the protection of the students that are supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm. And so why do you think a lot of these people, we're talking to a lot of people here on this boardwalk right here, they're for people living here even if they come over the border illegally? How does that make sense?
It doesn't. Unfortunately, our education system has failed people for a lot of years, and I see it firsthand. People are telling people what to think instead of how to think.
Bam. You got to get yourself out of these democratic mental chains, telling people what to think instead of how to think. We are not a country that is loyal to party. We are a country that is loyal to people. And if you make your United States citizen abide by laws, then you should make people who cross the border illegally abide by laws too. And our laws state that you have unlawfully entered into this country. And then when we allow you to come over to the country legally by giving you a temporary, temporary status in this country, here you are, you defraud the government for all this money. A lot of money. So much money that if this stops, this fraud stops, particularly in the country with regards to fraud, right? Because so much of that has been done by immigrants, whether illegal or legal. We can fix our federal budget.
And how to critically analyze.
Now that Donald Trump will become the president here in the United States, are you worried about being deported?
Sí, pues sí, la verdad sí, pues en las noticias igual han salido pues que no van a dejar pasar, que van a cerrar la aplicación de CP1 y pues más que nada pues.
Are you guys worried about becoming deported once he's inaugurated as president?
Sí, igual uno sigue como con el mismo miedo siempre, pues, porque uno por más que todo no se quiere regresar a su país en las condiciones en las que está.
So, if you guys are deported back to Venezuela, will Venezuela accept you guys?
No quiere aceptar por si tenemos el documento vencido, todas esas cosas, pues.
Wow, so Donald Trump may want to deport everybody, but he's not going to send them back to Venezuela because Venezuela is actually not even accepting their own citizens. Why do you think?
I mean, so what did that tell you? Did that not tell you that these countries have these people here purposely to have an influence on the American system? Because that's what it sounds like to me. That these people, the reason why Venezuela's countries such as Venezuela will not accept their people back is because they're your people. These are the people that you're supposed to have allegiance to, and you refuse to allow them to come back. Why? So they can have access to that political system, so they can have access to the political system, so that they can take the money that they are using to make in America, send it back over there into their country, such as Venezuela, to help the Venezuelan economy. Not circulate the money back into the United States system, but more so knowing that their families are still out there. That what you will end up happening is their economy will be positively impacted if these individuals who came over here illegally would send that money back to take care of those individuals out there from where they come.
Los Angeles would want to declare themselves as a sanctuary city.
I don't know if you're gonna like my answer.
I want it.
Okay, because it's a bunch of liberals. I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah. And why would you support mass deportation?
Because it's illegal. It'd be just like if I got a DWI and was driving a car. It's illegal. I'd go to jail.
Do you think a lot of people are being too compassionate on this issue when they say, well, we should just let them stay in here and give them the chance? Meanwhile, they did cross the border illegally?
Sure. I mean, you can't go into any other country illegally on this planet. So, I mean, why would we be any different?
Why do you think the United States has allowed this to happen these past 4 years?
Man, I don't know. I really don't. Idiots. That's the only thing I can say. I mean, just want me to be honest. That's about sums it up, you know?
With all these illegal immigrants that have came to the country, what should happen to them if they did cross over the border illegally?
Nothing. I mean, Slay, Anna Delvey did it. Like, you know, let's have people come in. The more the merrier. I mean, it does not say RSVP on a Statue of Liberty.
So how should people come into the country?
However they can.
Would you sleep with your doors open?
I mean, no, I live in LA.
They're unlocked all the time.
I live in LA.
Would you let anybody sleep inside your house?
No.
He sleeps
I
in my
wouldn't.
house all the time. So, I mean, sure.
So would you let somebody live inside your home for 4 years for completely free? Give them free rent, free clothes, free phones?
I've done it before.
Yeah, we both have.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Really?
Yeah.
4 years?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Ex-relationships, for
I
sure.
literally had an ex-fiance that I was living with for 4 years, so.
Okay, would you let a random stranger walk into your door in the middle of the night and stay inside your house for 4 years?
Well, we're lucky that America doesn't have any
Yeah.
walls or doors.
And we're not in Murphy's Law yet, right? Or something like that. Or like martial law where they like start just letting the army come in or whatever. You know, I mean, I would have to get to know them. Like a good like, hi, how are you? What's your name? But then after, I mean, it's always negotiable.
Do you know who Tom Homan is?
No, but I know Tom Holland.
Yeah, he's Tom Holland. He's quite the guy. And Tom Homan is the new border czar. So he's replacing Kamala Harris in her duties of the border. And he says he's going to stop the flow of illegal immigrants. And if states do not comply, he's going to come in and do whatever it takes to get the job done as far as deporting these migrants. Would you be willing to house migrants inside your home so they don't get deported?
I mean, yeah, if they vibe, like, why not? Like, as long as I got a home.
Like as long as they vibe, right?
Yeah.
What would pass the vibe check?
I mean, the vibe check is like not being like a weirdo, like not stealing my stuff, like, you know, like getting a job or something. I don't know, like living and doing what you came here to do and like figuring it out and being respectful in my home. I mean, why would I turn down doors to anyone? I wouldn't turn doors down to like a baby.
Would you let criminals stay inside your home for completely free?
Well, it depends on the criminal charge. Like, what is it, like grand larceny, or is it like petty theft, or is it like drug dealing, is it like weed smoking?
Just drug dealing.
I mean, it depends on the drug dealing as well, because I mean, it's
like
LA.
Just fentanyl.
Well, fentanyl, I mean, I'm not trying to be with someone that's a murderer. Yeah, of course, I wouldn't, yeah.
Okay, what if they were just, like, selling blood?
Are they like a vampire or something? Because I'm the slayer. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, it depends. Like, everything is circumstantial. Things can't just be so black and white. And I feel like that's the biggest problem with America, is that there's not a lot of gray.
Los Angeles.
Before she get on to the next person, right? Before Nick Shirley get on to the next person, I got a question, right? This is a question that I always like to ask, right? So what if all these people that the Democratic Party wanted to seek amnesty for, what if, as a part of them being and continue to stay in the United States, what if they had to house a homeless veteran, a person who was addicted to fentanyl, a drug user, someone who was on the streets that they necessarily didn't know nothing about? They were just forced to provide housing for them. How many of y'all think that the illegal immigrant would do such a thing? Because if they want us to do this for them, right? And it doesn't see, you got to realize that what Joe Biden did was fill the barrel way too much to the point of where it's overflowing. And here's where the problem lies, right? It's not necessarily that we didn't want people over here for the economic benefit of the United States, but there has to be a balance to the economic benefit of the United States and it being a deficit to the United States. And see, that balance was struck during the Biden era to where, you know, we pretty much wasn't that much noticing it to that much of an extent. However, in the past 10 to 20 years in Los Angeles, you can see a stark difference. So, these people who want amnesty, right? Because listen, I do believe in people should have opportunity, but it has to be a certain point to where you have the availability as people are coming into the system to get people out of the system. A system that the citizen created. Not for people to have so much of an influence into the system to where they begin to try to change that system. We have a rule of law in this country just like they have rules of law in their country. Particularly places like Mexico right now, who are so against immigration into their country, that it is worthy for them to come over here, but not worthy of us to go over there and live and take up their housing and live and abuse their system as the peso is less than the dollar. The dollar can stretch a lot more in Mexico. And we raise the cost of living over there because they have a gringo tax. And what the gringo tax is because you're white, because you're an immigrant into Mexico, you pay more for housing, which is rising the housing prices in Mexico. And so the average Mexican citizen in Mexico, the citizen in Mexico, are against immigration into Mexico.
This is now a sanctuary city. Do you support mass deportations?
Actually, I do support that in so many ways. Hell yeah.
And why so?
Because I think a lot of people come over here and they take advantage of a lot of opportunities of people that are naturally here. And when they come over here, it kind of wears out everything, and it's not enough for people that are born here or actually here illegally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why do you think Los Angeles would declare itself a sanctuary city? They voted unanimously for it.
Well, I mean, it depends on who's in, office that do support that. But I say that there's a lot of people that come over here illegally, and when they come over here, they do take advantage of a lot of opportunities, and that leave us with nothing. So I'll say that it leaves us with very many options, no options at all. So I think that it's okay for send them back where they come from, and they need to come over here legally.
Mm-hmm.
So how else do you see the Hispanic, and primarily the restaurant industries, and primarily the hospitality industries, and assuming it doesn't necessarily, no matter what race, no matter black, African, Hispanic, European, all these different things, but nail salons, beauty supplies, all these different sectors of industry, that 7-Elevens, all these sectors of industries in which not only are they gaining access to business loans and not hiring American citizens, but hiring their own people, and we are being pushed out of the economic system that binds us together with the written system. And this written system is supposed to protect us so we have an economic security in this country and have it safely. This is why when a United States citizen does something that breaks the law, we confine them for a while to re-educate them into what they did, to make them see what they did. Then we put them on supervision to see have they re-assimilated into society. All these things that are being subverted, when there was a time that the Democratic Party, the moderate Democratic Party, believed in the same thing. And they believed in the same thing because during the Clinton era, when the Three Strikes Law was passed, you had something created called the Three Strikes Law, written by Joe Biden, who this law attacked a mass majority of black individuals, who allowed all this illegal immigration to come into the border, who, knowing illegal immigration affects the black community more than any other community. And it's only until recent to where these people are beginning to push out in H-1B2 visas from people who are not that much smarter than American citizens in technology, are getting the jobs because they are willing to take the jobs for less pay. When we are going into an era of AI and robotics, and we have to be able to have the ability to allow the next generation of citizens to learn those jobs, to have opportunities.
Support mass deportations?
Not at all. Absolutely not.
Why do you not support mass deportations? If someone comes in the country illegally, what should happen to them?
If they come into the country legally, I think they should be protected, of course.
Illegally, if they come in illegally.
Yes.
Protect them if they break the law?
Protect them if they break. Yes, if they're humans that are leaving a country that they're in danger of. If they're in danger and they need to leave their country because they need to be protected, of course they should be protected here.
Then there is legal means by doing that. And at certain point, if the United States feels that you have overstayed your welcome, that you are not assimilated, that you are being more of a deficit to the country than you are a benefit, the United States has the right to take away your temporary status in this country. Now, if your country don't want to take you back, the Supreme Court has ruled you are allowed to go to another country.
What do you mean? Of course.
Do you think the world should have no borders?
Yes.
What do you think about Los Angeles becoming a sanctuary city?
If the country had no borders, then we wouldn't be a country.
I love it. That's why I live here.
And why do you love Los Angeles becoming a sanctuary city?
It's just somewhere safe that you can be. There's so many states right now who are going through so much. Women are going to suffer so much. This is just the beginning of everything that happened once Trump won. So it's sad.
How did you feel when Donald Trump won the election?
I honestly have a house in Mexico, and if it keeps getting...
You have a house in Mexico that you got to take care of while maintaining and taking away jobs from a United States citizen. But you still have a house in Mexico that you're maintaining. See, this is why there is supposed to be circular migration. This is why there is supposed to not only be a way for people to come in, but a pathway for people to exit the country. Because how many United States citizens can say that they can afford to stay in the United States and still have a residence in another country? How many of us have the ability to do that? But it's so many immigrants in this country who have the ability to have a residence in this state, but have a residence, their primary residence, in the country in which they come from. So how do we have full allegiance?
Worse, I'm going to go stay over there for 4 years.
And why do you not support mass deportations?
We need as many people, as many immigrants as we can here. We come here to work. I was an immigrant also. I was able to get, I'm a citizen now, but I did it the right way. But I feel like we don't come here to take nobody's jobs. If Trump wants to deport people, then he needs to figure out how he's going to have his hotels cleaned. Who's going to wash the dishes in the restaurants? Who's going to pick our crops?
And those were all black people jobs, lady. Black people did those jobs. Farm Workers Day should have reverence towards black people too. Hospitality jobs should give, those were black people jobs. Bus boys, black people jobs. It's so bad that one time I seen an individual trying to, well, actually she was working in a hotel right one time, and she was white. And this specific group is looking at this young white girl who is trying to economically make it from whatever she's going throughout her circumstance, looking at this girl like, what are you doing here? These are our jobs. Wait a minute. Whatever do you mean? These are our jobs. We have this sector of industry within this country. You need to go find an industry in which your people belong. Hold on, you're not supposed to be here in the first place.
Who's gonna do it? Nobody else wants to do it.
Do you think there would be other people that would do it if the jobs were available?
If the job was available for people from here,
Yeah.
they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. I have this job and I clean people's houses. Who's the one that cleans the most people's houses? Are Hispanics, are immigrants.
Specifically talking about the people that came across the border illegally, or if they came to the United States illegally in any form or any matter, should they be deported or not?
No. I think there should be a pathway to citizenship. We should find an easier way to do that if they've already been here. And if you're talking about illegal immigrants or migrants that are helping our economy, let's find a pathway to citizenship that works for everybody.
Los Angeles just declared themselves a sanctuary city. Do you support mass deportations?
No.
What should happen with all these migrants that have recently came in the United
I
States?
don't have the answer. I don't know what the answer is. But mass deportations is a ridiculous response.
Do you think that's racist by Donald Trump to do that?
Should I say of course? Of course, yes.
Do you think it is a race thing, or do you think it's more of like Donald Trump's point of view might be, well, they came into the country illegally, they broke the law, we should treat them as if they were criminals?
So can I speak freely on this?
Yeah, of course.
I absolutely think that Donald Trump doesn't care one way or the other. He doesn't care if they're white or black or Hispanic. I don't think he cares. I think all he cares about is making a statement. And if they can't help him, then that's why they're gone.
Good job by Nick Shirley on that, right? Like he said, like she said, it doesn't matter where you white, black, African, Hispanic. It doesn't matter. What matters is the whole idea with regards to nationalism. How you gonna be have full allegiance to this country, which is all about the 14th Amendment, when you still have residents in another country. You have the Chinese nationals, who are, their elite are gaining access into this country and primarily doing this for them to have some type of influence, who not even raising a child in this country, but only using the child in this country to vote. If people don't wake up, and this is why you see two fights going on right now. And, you know, like the Civil War, right? You have people who, it's two separate sides. It's two separate sides to this, right? It's the side who people on say, for instance, the Republican sides. It's the side of people who being impacted by illegal immigration. And it's the side that people who wants to go by the rule of law. That's the Republican side. On the Democratic side, what you have is people who are being mentally destituted, I should say, by the ideas of the Democratic Party, this push to hate Trump, this attack against Trump, this attack as they are receiving foreign money from PACs to push ideas. And then you have them pushing this idea which goes against the rule of law. For instance, you had in the Civil War, you had people who were trying to bring the Union back together, and you had the slave who wanted their freedom and fought against the Democrats and the Confederate Army. On the Confederate side, you had people who thought that the Union side would lose, so they fought with Master. They fought with Master because they thought Master was going to win, and they wanted to show a good cause to Master so that when the war ended, they would have favoritism with Master. And you have the Confederates, who necessarily, and I'm not calling them Confederates, but I'm just bringing up an example. You have people who wants to go against the ideas that all men are created equal, and have a right to pursuit of happiness, which leaves out slavery completely. This is what's going on in this country right now. This is the divide. You know, what side you gonna be on? Hey, that's all up to you. I know I want to be on the side to where people bled, died, and fought for me to be a part and participate, not only in the economic system, but in the written system in this country. This is why I do this show, is because I'm about that fight. And it's not to say that you can't be about yours, but I will say that I respect that fight as I watch the civil rights movement. Tiny Cross-H.U.G on the Trumped Up Live Show, man. Always remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that hype button. It's a good day to be a soldier.